We need to talk about luck because it's not as simple as it seems.
We have a puncture. 5 miles to go.
It was at this moment that he knew.
Successful people want to pretend that luck doesn't exist, and unsuccessful people want to pretend it's the only factor. Neither of those interpretations are true. Most people think luck is one thing. They think there's one kind of luck and you either have it or you don't. There are actually several kinds of luck, and the more we know about this topic, the more we can engineer luck into our lives. The goal is to increase our surface area of luck. The first kind of luck that I want to talk about is called dumb luck. This is the definition that most people have. Blind, dumb luck, random, out of the blue, we can't control it. This is where most people stop. I wasn't born rich, so that's the end. Where were you born? What city? What country? Were you born to rich parents, dirt poor parents, middle class? Do you have all your limbs and mental faculties? Is your civilization growing or killing itself? There's nothing you can do to influence that kind of luck. You either have it or you don't. So this is the place where a lot of stupid people would say, "You're lucky that you were even born." Cringe. We were all born, idiot. That's not luck. I hate this argument. Let's move on before I pop a blood vessel in my brain. If you're watching this, you have the good luck of an internet connection and a device to watch videos. You probably know how to read. You understand English. If your first language is not English, you have the good luck to be smart enough to learn another language. So we already have some degree of dumb luck on our side. Let's recognize it and appreciate it. But there's not much we can do to improve our access to this first type of luck. So let's look to the second kind, hustle luck. You're out there doing a bunch of stuff, seeing what sticks. If you increase your hustle, if you write more books or articles, if you produce more content, you engineer more luck into your life. This is why the hustle grind set gurus scream at you about hustling so much. They know that you need to stack the deck in your favor as much as possible, and the best way to do that in the beginning is to take massive action. It's not popular, but it's true. As you continue taking massive action, you lay the groundwork for the third type of luck, preparation luck. So this kind is similar to blind luck, but there are some important exceptions. This type comes from your ability to recognize and capitalize on an opportunity. So think about Alex Hormozy. He talks about entrepreneurship on the internet. That's not very cool. Alex Hormozy got lucky. Yeah, he did. And by the way, I'm not some stan of Alex Hormozy. Like, I haven't given him a single penny. I just saw a couple of his videos and okay, he has a good mind for business. He did get lucky, yes. He also built a deep knowledge of the gym industry and then released podcast episodes every week for 4 years before he got lucky. Have any of his critics developed deep domain expertise and then shared that knowledge with people for 4 years? No. The answer is no. So he spent his time building multiple successful businesses, and then he developed the ability to effectively communicate that knowledge. This effective communication is critical. Writers who can't communicate effectively aren't very good writers. And then Alex took advantage of free distribution. Yes, can you believe how lucky he got? He had free distribution. How many of us have access to free Oh, right, we all do. It's called YouTube and podcast and blogging. Having access to free distribution makes us psychotically lucky. It's unbelievable. Anybody who wants to jump in here right now and cry about the tyranny of having to make content all the time, okay, so don't make content. Let your writing be a hobby. You have to decide whether this is a business or a hobby. You can't treat it like a hobby, but expect to get business income from it. And I want to just touch on this free distribution thing. This didn't exist for most of human history. Like, most people in the past had no access to free distribution of their content. If you wanted to write a book, you had to find someone who owned a printing press and would let you print their book. That was called a publisher. We had to work with publishers in the past. We don't anymore. If you wanted to make videos, You had to go to Kmart and buy like a $500 camera. And then how do you distribute that video? You walk around handing out you walk around handing out cassette tapes. The distribution that we have these days is phenomenal. The fourth kind of luck is called unique character luck. You are unique and you have perspectives that set you apart from many people. You have random hobbies and skills, eccentric ideas, strange opinions. Use that to your advantage. Take the person who you are and then apply that personality to the things you want to talk about, and then take advantage of free distribution, and then do that for a long time. Along the way, turn up the volume on your unique personality. Lean into it as much as you can. Let's put this all together with an example. You are an expert on aerodynamics. You post videos on YouTube every week explaining weird little things about aerodynamics. You do it in an accessible way. So you've been doing it for a few years now. You get invited to speak at an aerodynamics conference. Maybe they want the topic of your speech to be about using social media to explain aerodynamics to lay audiences. Okay, fine, you give your speech. In the audience is an executive of an aviation company or maybe a racing team, and he wants to hire you to produce videos for his company. So now you have a cool new project and a nice contract. Here's the most important part of this little hypothetical. How likely is it that you are the smartest aerodynamicist in the world? It's probably very, very, very unlikely, but that doesn't matter. You don't have to be the best. Now, don't get me wrong, like, I wish every television show had S-tier writing like Better Call Saul and Shogun, but they don't. That doesn't matter because hundreds of shows have a large audience despite not being S-tier. This fact makes the best, the smartest aerodynamicists seethe and cope and cry. They want the world to be a meritocracy, and I sympathize with them. But the world is not a meritocracy. If communicating with you is an unpleasant experience, it might not matter how smart you are. Humans are a communicative species, so if you can communicate better than others, you win. As writers, we have to get over our addiction to identifying as introverts. That's the end of this. If this was helpful, give it a like, give it a subscribe. There are free resources down in the description. I'll see you next time. Thank you.